Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I didn't schedule a guest today. I've been kind of lax in setting up guests, so I got open slots. So DM me if you're interested in coming on and talking comics. So I started going out and asking pros again. I took some time off because I was just working on my comic and working a lot of overtime at my day job. First off, let's take a sip of coffee. How you doing? So this is what I've been reading and back issue been on. So I'm going to start with what I've been reading. I'll filibuster a bit. We got the Creative Welshman, the Welshman coming. First, oh wait, this ain't Bancroft's channel. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not Bancroft's channel. Nothing I can do about that. Back my comic on Fund My Comic. It's still available. It's doing really great. Renzo is banging it out. Oh my god. Daniel De La Silva's father is in the hospital getting, I think, not a heart transplant, but like a pacemaker put in. So the coloring is, I'm still way ahead of schedule. He'll color a bunch of pages all at once, but that's it's more important that Daniel's father is okay. So that's that. All right, let's see. We got a few people watching. So uh, later on today at 8:30, I'll shut this stream down, and then at 8:30 I started up again with RJ for the fourth age. We just talk comics. So right now let's talk about comics that I've been reading, and I love doing this because now I can put my comic books away. You know me, I'm a crazy person. I anal retentive. I'll accept anal retentive, but I'm not OCD. You know, I hate when people declare that they're OCD, but I can't put my comic books into the comic book room until I show what I've been reading. So this is a reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15. Jason Sandberg sent this to me. He, I this book is Jupiter #7, so these came together. So what did I do? I've been collecting Jupiter, so this is issue 7, and this is like $100. All the other back issues are like $200. This was like 100. So I was like, Jason, why is this so expensive? And he said that there's a collectible market of people who they don't know anything about the comic, but they just buy Action Comics #1 homage covers on eBay. So I was like, really? So of course, I'm thinking for Patriarch #1, I might do a variant Action Comics #1 variant cover edition. Why not? But I'll have like the regular cover and the variant cover. So I might actually have 3 covers for Patriarch #1. Renzo, the A cover, the B, the Action Comics #1 homage cover, and then a guest artist. I like to do like one guest artist cover variant. So there you go. So he was just like, how about let's trade? So I sent him a copy of Heroic Tales 1 and then some swag like t-shirts and coins and things like that. And he sent me this and he sent me this. So now I'm just missing #8 and I can finish my Jupiter collection. Put these in order. That drives me crazy. So this is Psychodrama Illustrated. This is a side project of the Hernandez brothers who do Love and Rocket. So this is Gilbert Hernandez's comic. The premise of this is Fritzy. Fritzy is Luba's sister. He has in Love and Rockets. There's 2 brothers. There's Gilbert Hernandez and there's Jamie Hernandez. Jamie Hernandez does Las Locas, like the Mexican descent girls that live in like I think it's Riverside. No, Hoppers, California, and it's all their punk rock adventures. Then they grow up, become teachers, and things like that. This is Gilbert. Gilbert has his main character is Luba and Luba's sisters, and not all their descendants from a fictional town in Mexico called Palomar. And they come to America. They come back. Fritzy is just like she's the most beautiful girl. Everybody loves her. She becomes a psychologist, and then she later becomes a B movie star. So the premise of this is these are her movies. So not safe for work. And here she is with the blonde wig. This is #7. So now I could get issue #8. Issue #8. Okay, let's put these in the proper order. This I'm always showing off. But okay, well, there we go. I did Sunday Comics. this Sunday. This is Marvel 2-in-1, number 58, The Thing, and Aquarion. So this is the first appearance of Aquarion. He used to be called Wondar, and he changed his name. He linked with the Cosmic Cube, and the Cosmic Cube like leveled him up. There you go. They're trying to take a bad character and they made him slightly worse. There we go. This is the Goon, Them That Don't Stay Dead. I love the Goon. It's one of my favorite comics of all time. I just love the Goon. Eric Powell's art is outstanding. It's just like old fashioned, but like great at the same time. Like it's like moody and noirish. It's so good. And then his humor is just goofy. His humor is just so goofy, and he draws such sexy women. So what happened? One of his earliest foes is the zombie priest. The zombie priest could resurrect the dead as zombies, so it's only a matter of time before the zombie priest came back. So the zombie priest came back, and then they kind of like set their differences aside, and they find out that they have a common foe in one of the Goon's past girls from his past. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil it. Look at that cover. So now Eric Powell said in the letters page of the Goon that he's not as quick as he once was, so he's just going to make series of mini-series. So the Goon isn't over, but he can't do a monthly series anymore. So he'll do like a 4-issue series when he's done. But next he's doing a parody book on why can't I think of his name? Frederick Wortham, and the name of the book is Worthless, and it's a fictional account of Frederick Wortham, the guy who did Seduction of the Innocent that caused the whole 10-cent plague. So that should be interesting. I really like Eric Powell. I message him periodically about coming on my channel. I've never gotten a response. So here we got Perfect 10, number 5. Look at that cover. This is Dave Brinks, Genuine Comics. As you can see, Genuine Comics. This is the latest issue of Perfect 10. So good, so good. He's doing it. It's my favorite superhero comics coming out right now. Paul Roderick's art is just outstanding. There's the card in the back. Hey, is this open invite? Maybe. Let's see what happens. Hey, I have that comic as well. What you think? What did you think? So now this is Ghost Machine number 2. I mean, Geiger by Ghost Machine number 2. So it's Image Comics. Image Comics is the company. Ghost Machine is the imprint, meaning it's like a company within the company. And the comic is called Geiger. This is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. All of the Ghost Machine comics, as far as I know, are set in the same world. There's a little bit of like weird high concept premise. More like I'm not a big fan of super high concept premises. I kind of like superheroes set in the real world, out as close to our world as possible. But so this is like in the future, there was a limited nuclear war and apocalyptic, and Geiger is just like walking the earth, but it's full on like superhero sci-fi apocalyptic. But I really like it. This is something big. I have 2 copies of this. I bought this copy, and then Chuck Dixon sent me 1 to 4. So I have an extra copy. I'll give this away to one of my friends. This is my favorite thing Chuck Dixon ever wrote. And that's saying a lot because Chuck Dixon is super prolific. What is that? Did I say it right? But Chuck Dixon, this is a 4-volume series on Arcaven Books. I think you can get it on Amazon. I got it on I forget where I ordered it from. But Chuck Dixon, I guess just Google Chuck Dixon something big. And it's a space invasion. So it's 30 years after the space invasion happens now in the present, and then it's 30 years later. So there's like a whole generation of people who don't remember the world the way it was, except for this like 60-year-old man. And so it's post-apocalyptic sci-fi space invasion, and then it's a heist. They're gonna rob they're gonna get a crew together and rob the space aliens. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. What do we got here? I enjoyed the action, but I have to reread the issues again. Yeah, I gotta I gotta reread all 5 issues of Perfect 10 altogether. There's just so many characters. I mean, I get the general plot, but I'm sure I'm missing the subtleties. I agree with you. It's one of the problems with crowdfunded comics is the big wait between issues. Like I could deal with a month. I've been doing it my whole life, reading comics and waiting a month. But waiting multiple months between issues for a continued story is the weakness of this format of comics. I do fully admit that, which is why my comics, it's a complete story every issue. You know, the continuity is there. You know, maybe, not maybe, definitely there will be if you read them in order, you'll pick up things. You know, there's going to be Easter eggs and foreshadowing and things like that. But you can read each issue on its own to get an enjoyable, complete story. That's the way I choose to work, because making people wait 6 months between issues, they're not gonna get it. If I have a larger story to tell, I will make a larger comic. How's that? Did I read Power Trip as well? Yes, I did. I got everything by Genuine Comics. Anything by Genuine Comics, I'm there. I'm there. Greetings from the homeless shelter. Be careful, Gaga. It's radioactive. It sure is. I mean, look at him glowing over there. Look at him glowing over there. Look at that. Just so cool. Just so cool. And here's number 4. So yes, I caught up with Geiger. You can see it, you know, these are back issues. I've missed these, which is what held me up from reading it. I have to read them in order. So I read number 1, and then I had 5. So I was missing 2, 3, and 4. So I had to get 2, 3, and 4. And the way I do back issues, especially these days, you know, with money being tight, you know, me being out of work for so long, I wait until comics hit like $100, like back issues. I put them in my cart, and when they hit about $100, because I don't want to pay $12 shipping for like $18 worth of comics. So that's what I do. So sometimes it takes me a long time to hit. Plus, I do it once a month. That's my limit. That's my self-imposed limit. Back issues once a month. Home a minimum of $100 to pay to justify the shipping. Hey, we got Master Hobo. Gary Frank and Jeff Jones work well together. Yes. I'm an unabashed Jeff Johns fanboy. I got everything he did when he was working for DC. And Gary Frank's art is just awesome. Oh, that's good coffee. So that's number 4. Got number 5. Oh man, the doggy got hurt. The bad guy, the electrician, was the bad guy, and he hurt the doggy. And he did electrical powers correct. So bravo to you, Jeff Johns. You did your research. And the doggy wants revenge. This is a story from the two-headed dog's point of view. This is them. Oh, my comics almost fell. This is them making it to like a town that's mostly unhurt. But of course, there can never be a perfect utopia. There's always a problem. But you know, here he is in that town defending the people who he realized there's people pursuing him. So he brought trouble to this like mostly untouched town. You know, and here he is dealing with that trouble. And when he's active, when he pulls these rods out of his back, and then this nuclear reaction builds up, he gets more and more and more powerful, but I think he sacrifices his will. Like I don't think he gets dumber, not like the Hulk, but I think his willpower gets converted into nuclear power. Like he definitely gets stronger, gets more invulnerable. He has like a fire defense, a radioactivity, maybe like a disintegration defense, and but his like because he just starts fighting it's like he goes berserk. He loses sight of restraint and things like that. It's a cool weakness. I call that kind of stuff a Marvel weakness rather than a DC weakness. Stop making Chuck feel bad about electrical powers. Yes, I'm working on a story set in the 40s that shows that I'll have an intelligence-based hero dealing with an electrical foe. You'll see. I love that character. The character that's going to do it. It's one of my favorite characters. It was my friend Gary made a role playing. We all played villains vigilantes together, and then Jimmy would every once in a while he would run the game, and I was a villain. I was the heavy hitter when he played, and I was also a hero. I was the public eye. The public eye was my character, the character that Marcus is drawing, and then my other friend Gary, he started playing, and he said it in the 40s, so we made 40s themed superheroes, and so that character will be my character turned into a comic book, and then maybe my friend Jimmy's character will show up. John, are those new comics? New to me. These are what I just read. These are the comics that I read since the last time I did a What You Reading. I stack them over here until I do like a night that I don't have a guest. Then I'll do a What You Reading, and then I can breathe easily and put them in the back room and file them away. Until then, they stack over here. So these are a mix of new comics and old comics that I just read. So here is the Goon number 204. This is Them That Don't Stay Dead. This is, I don't want to spoil this for anybody who's not reading this, but this is the zombie priest, but he came back in another form because it's voodoo and magic. I mean, he deals with undead and resurrecting and everything like that. So it was only a matter of time before he would come back. But this is one of my favorite comics. Absolutely one of my favorite comics. It's funny. I was calling her Guy Girl, instead of Guy Girl. But this is a woman that supposedly learned how to control the same exact powers that Geiger has. But things ain't exactly as they seem. And Gary Frank just draws her so beautiful. He just draws her like she looks mature. She has like strong feature, but he just draws her so well. He really does draw such beautiful women. And Junkyard Joe, I love this character. Did anybody read the Junkyard Joe one shot? It was one of the best comics I ever read. Oh my God, it was so good. I love that comic. Look at that cover. Another thing is I only get the A covers to comics. Sometimes, like for a buddy, like Brian Bow, I bought all of his comics because first off, I love his art. Second off, I love Brian Bow. And third off, I couldn't decide which one I liked best, and I wanted to support my buddy. But Marvel and DC and Image, they don't need me to get all 56 covers. So I get the A. I try to discourage that kind of stuff. I get the A covers of all my comics. So I know that there's other covers of these, but I get the A cover, meaning the regular. Whatever you list as A is the one I'm getting. Is Junkyard Joe. So supposedly Jeff Johns went to DC and said, I have a GI Robot comic I'd like to do. And they said no. And he went, okay, I'm going to make up Junkyard Joe. And he made up his own comic. So when Jeff Johns says to you, I got a story, you say yes. Just say yes, because he's just going to go and make it up and make it better. So this was 2 weeks ago from Sunday Comics. We did Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and One Dark. These were so much fun. I got a couple of people emailed me and direct messaged me saying that they love that I take out these old comics. This is from 1978 or 1979 rather, and just talk about this George Perez artwork. It's so good. It's so good, guys. I can't recommend this stuff. There's a trade paperback of the Project Pegasus saga. I love, you got to overblown stuff when you're selling comic books. It's a saga. So who was asking me? Creative Welshman was asking me about Power Trip. About Power Trip, yes. So I got Power Trip. I love the Flying Dutchman character. I love this character. And Safeguard, is that the name of this team? That is so good. It's such a good name for a team. Because I can make up superheroes all day long. I'm not joking when I say I got folders with like over 1,000 superheroes. I got their character sheets and everything like that. So I have literally like over 1,000 cool superhero names. But super teams, there's not that many good super teams left, and I'm so mad. Safeguard is so obvious. It's so good. And Dave, English is his second language, so that's amazing. That is amazing. I'm a liar because I said I only get the A covers. Here's the beat. Well, I'm supporting my buddy Dave Brink. If my rules are meant to be broken. I'm a rebel, daddy, but I get the B covers for, like I said, for these smaller independent guys like Dave Brink. Phenomenova. This is Von Coleman's comic number 2. Great art. Look at this coloring, just so good coloring. Here's something big, number 4. Do I have 2 of all of these? No, I don't. I don't think I have 2 of all of these. This is the dramatic conclusion of something big. Again, this is one of probably my favorite thing Chuck Dixon ever wrote. And here is Marvel 2-1 battles. The Thing battles Thundra. This is 56. So I did this 3 weeks. So it's been about 3 weeks since I last did What You're Reading. So these are all the comics that I read the past 3 weeks. This is John Byrne, Terry Austin cover artwork. Oh man, I love it. I just love John Byrne, Terry Austin. That is just the primo comic book art team. Let's look at I can't freaking talk anymore. The comments are just whisking by. Their loss, our win. Jeff is one of the best writers over the past 15 years. Absolutely. You know what? Here is an invite if anybody wants to come in and talk. Anybody wants to come in and talk with me. Keep it clean. You know, I try to be friendly. Keep it clean. Wear pants. Can't wait to read Echoes 1 to 3. I don't know what Echoes is. Is that a genuine comics thing? Geiger, yeah, I recommend Geiger. It's a good read. Good news, John. I'll most be definitely backing your book next. Oh, thank you so much. Were you the one who was telling me that you're moving? No. Somebody who said to me, they wrote me a letter apologizing that they haven't backed my book yet. They said I'm moving, and I don't know, if things fall through, I don't want to put this address and that address. So I was like, that's fine. You don't have to apologize. Thank you. I understand. Things get in the way. Life gets in the way of comic books. But yes, every backer helps. Every backer helps. I have less than half the backers for my first book, and I know there's always a second issue drop off. And I know things are kind of crazy right now economically. So I hope things pick up, because I need to. I'm almost at 4,000. I need to get to like 6,000 to fund the next issue. I'm hoping I will do it. How you doing, Creative Welshman? How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
How you doing? You're in 2 places at once. You're in the chat and you're on my panel. I like the Shadowline story of Power Trip 2. Yeah. The thing about Shadowline, it doesn't seem to fit genuine versus thing. I like it, but it doesn't seem to fit genuine verse. And I realized why, because he didn't create that character. Dave Brink creates all the characters. So there's something not bad, just different about that character. But I did like it. You have that one too? Which one? Which one was that one?
Phenomenova.
Oh, Phenomenova. Which brings us to, is my car okay since I've gotten Phenomenova? Yeah, what is the story that everybody's talking about with Phenomenova 2 in the car story? Somebody, I think, told me, and I don't remember. What's going on?
I think it was the first one, actually. Somebody backed the first comic, and then somehow managed to crash their car afterwards.
Yeah,
so the joke goes is Bong crashed my car.
Okay. Phenomenova 2. We got Luniverse. Oh. Hey, John, back from the doctors. My blood pressure is low, but they're going to keep. Okay. Everybody keep Luna in your prayers. We want everybody to be healthy. Hey, Zaid. That far into the book. I'm almost done. I'm a notoriously slow reader, and I like to sit and look at the art, so, and I'm reading this at the same time. I do that a lot. Like, I'll read a couple of pages, because this is a bunch of short stories. So I'm done with the short story, and then I'll read some Shadow Kingdom and go back and forth. So I hope to finish those in a day. So there you go, Zaid. The Lost Pages, Volume 1 and 2. So this is something big, number 3. Again, I love this. This is my favorite thing Chuck Dixon ever wrote, and that's saying a lot, because we all know how much Chuck Dixon wrote. And this is Sebastian O. 1, 2, and 3. I reread these because Fabrizio Aiello and myself did a video about this. We a semi-regular, whenever the mood hits us, we're going to do a show called Post-Tentious. Whenever you're no longer pretentious, you've passed pretentious in the rearview mirror. You are now post-tentious. So we're going to get like the most pretentious, obscure comics ever and talk about that. So this is Sebastian O by Grant Morrison. Now this is before Grant Morrison was a thing. This is Grant Morrison basically making Oscar Wilde as an assassin. So how pretentious is
I was
that?
going to say, judging from that cover alone, it looks rather gay.
It's
It looks like a yaoi manga to me.
He likes the ladies. This guy is gay, likes him a little young. There's a lot of touchy stuff that would probably get Grant Morrison canceled today. And then she's a lesbian, and this guy is just like a servant, so he doesn't matter. That's the kind of comic it is. He doesn't like birds, so he's a total pretentious, like touch grass kind of guy. Like he goes outside and birds come. He's like, oh, they're gonna poop on my clothes. It's so over the top ridiculous. It's I love it. It's over the top ridiculous. Oh, and I forgot to put this away. We got a little card from Brian Bow in the latest Wolf and Batsy. So we got that. Okay, so that takes us to the end of all the comics that I've read. Now I'm going to take a big stack of comics that I bought and did not read yet. So that was the What You're Reading segment. Now I'm going to do the back issue Bonanza segment. What are you showing there?
Nexus 1 and 2.
Oh, nice.
I found them in a random secondhand shop, and I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I also
How much?
Oh, I paid about 20 quid for all these.
How much is?
Found this is
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
How much is 20 quid?
$25, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
So now I'm just gonna grab a stack of.
It's actually not bad.
Okay. So these are comics that I've bought since the last time I did. So I do 3 of these type of shows. I do the back issue Bonanza, which is just back issues that I bought and haven't read yet. Then you'll see the same comics in the What You're Reading eventually, because those are the comics that I've read. And then I do the monthly visitor, which is the new comics that I get every month. I should be getting the comics any second now, because I get most of my new comics from Discount Comic Book Service. I'm sorry, all the people go to the local comic shop, but I get like a 30 to 40% discount. I don't get any money from these people, but things are tough. And if you want me to buy comics, I got to get a good deal. So you order like 3 months in advance and you get a discount, and they mail them right to your house. And once a month. So I'm always a month behind everybody because, all 4 Wednesdays of comics, and then they mail them. So I usually get my comics like the first week of the next month. So I'll be getting this month's comics next week. So these are back issues that I bought. This is Babs. I bought this because it's Garth Ennis. So Garth Ennis is doing like a sword and sorcery comic. So this is like a Red Sonja riff. I didn't read it yet, obviously. So these Ahoy Comics, this is a pretty good company. They're making some good stuff. So Babs, again, it's a goof on Red Sonja. This is Strange Haven. I do another semi-regular show with Narwhal, Per Berg, and Jason Sandborg, who does Jupiter. We did one show. We don't have a name for it, but we'll do like obscure comics. We talked about Mr. X. And I'm so glad we did that, because that just made me go and reread all of my Mr. X comics. It made me get the issues that I was missing. So then Per asked us to check out Strange Haven. So I didn't have this. There's a rare comic that I didn't have. So I bought 1 to 5. And I'll read these this weekend. And then once Jason and myself get caught up, we'll Ambiosis Press. Jeez, I never even heard of this company. I never heard of this comic. So this was like, wow, I never heard of this. But these were like $2 or $3 a piece at my comic shop. So then we got Strange. I don't know what to expect. This just looks bizarre, Strange here. Suggested for mature readers. That means there's going to be boobies. So at least there'll be boobies. I hope. Right? Nothing wrong with boobies.
Well, that'll be the same with Ninja Witch. When I read like the last issue of it, I was like, oh, and now there's boobies in it. Because they were in
Well, chicken lingerie over
Olga,
here. And then guy shooting looks like
There's definitely going to be boobs in this book.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point? But who knows? I didn't read it yet. Could be terrible. But I got 5. I don't know. I don't even know how many issues it lasted to. Probably like 11 or so. So this is the Patchwork Girl of Oz by Otis Frampton. He's a friend of Brian Bow, and I think it was Scotty Young did all of the other Oz books. You know, he did the Wizard of Oz, and then I forget the next book. So this is a different team, but I'm fascinated with the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz and Peter Pan are 2 books that I'm like strangely protective of. Like, do you guys ever have like a book or something like that you just read as a child and you kind of got obsessed with it and like it's your book? You know what I mean? Like when other people talk about it, I'm like, you know, like I'm kind of like that way about Lord of the Rings. Anything Tolkien, and I see somebody else is like missing, like, oh, you see Rings of Power, like at work, I get mad, but I you know, Rings of Power isn't Tolkien, it's Amazon, you know. And they're like, oh, did you see that Hammerhand movie? I'm like, no, that's not in Tolkien. That's not in Tolkien.
Well, for me, it's Harry Potter. So
Okay.
I read those books growing up as a kid, so I have a soft spot for them.
Me and my wife met because of Harry Potter. My wife and I met because of Harry Potter. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty protective of those books too. Not the movies, movies so much, but the books.
The same thing. Well, with series of unfortunate events, I tried watching the Netflix series. First episode, got up to the bit where they met the judge lady. She would not shut up. She was not how I pictured her in the books. She was saying things that weren't even written in the books, which I haven't read for years, but I know for a fact she was not going off about what she bought that day. And I was like, screw this, I'm switching it off.
Yeah, I read the first book. I really liked it. I think I read the whole series. They're like small books. I think I have
they're about
I only read the first 2.
They're about like that big they are.
Yeah. I finished reading Phenomenova 2 yesterday. Cool. Yeah, Lemony Snicket. Yeah, I think I read like 6 of them. I think I have like a little miniature slipcase.
The Jim Carrey movie is closer to how I picture the tone of the world to be, despite the fact that he's also a goofball. He sort of fits. He sort of fits so like the character of Count Olaf.
Yeah, sure. What is it, Luniverse? Throw it in the chat. So this is a Mr. X series that I'm missing, so I had to pick this up. So I'm a freak. I love Mr. X. Get these. Let me move this over so the wires aren't there. Yep. Marx Gonzalez. I never read these, so this is gonna be interesting. I don't know anything about this. Then Scout, Eclipse Comics by Tim Truman. I finished the first series of Scout. Scout is a high concept comic, and like I said, most high concept comics I kind of have a little bit of. I take it back. High concept is fine if you're not doing superheroes. If you're doing superheroes, to me, like superheroes should be as close to the real world as possible. But if it's a guideline. But Scout it's funny because it was written in 1987 and it's set far in the future, 2025. After a war, America has fallen, limited nuclear, and Mexico is a world power. I forget, like Europe is a world, because they were relatively unscathed, and America is just like the what do they call it in the wasteland? What the scorched earth?
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, but what do they say in I can't freaking think anymore. Judge Dredd.
Excellent.
What do they call? What do they call the Cursed Earth? It's like the Cursed Earth, you know. So he's just an Apache, and he goes by the name of Scout, and he goes around, you know, right and wrongs, daring do. So these are just one. This is a 4-issue miniseries after Scout. So this tells us what happens to Apache after it. This is the Swords of Texas. This is another group. This guy was a mercenary who like saw the light and started fighting. So this, I forget if this is a one shot or so these are all the other characters. Scout's over, and now all the little characters are getting their own little series. This is this woman who is like an ex-lover of Scout. She became like a military advisor to the president. Real funny is the president was a woman president, and they got her addicted to drugs, the president. So she was a drug addict that they would withhold drugs and feed her drugs so that she would pass the legislation that these cabinet people wanted her to do. So she was like a puppet president, and she recognized that the president was a drug addict and like was counseling her to like, don't do this. And then the president started to like rely on her. So of course the cabinet sends her out on dangerous missions, hoping that she dies, but she's just such a badass that she doesn't die. I like her character. Then the Liberty Project. This is, I think Mark Cavanier. I forget who did this, but this was only 3 issues, so I bought the Liberty Project. Why not? Even if it's bad. But Eclipse Comics is one of the companies that I obsess over. You know, I used to obsess over Marvel, DC, and Image. Not anymore. Now I obsess over like Wolf and Batsy comics and Genuine Verse comics, but I still obsess over like Eclipse, First, and Comico. So if I see any Eclipse, First, and Comico, they're long dead. They're long. These comics died in the 80s, maybe early 90s. So I still buy these back issues. This is the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I picked up the first issue and I enjoyed it because the Creature of the Black Lagoon is my favorite of the Universal monsters because it's a deep one, and I'm a Lovecraft freak. So I bought number 1, and I just forgot to order the other. So I got 2, 3, and 4. So here is number 2. There's like 27 different covers. Again, I got the A cover. You can see 2A right here. A. Oh, we have you done the Empire Star Wars versus Sauron's Army Lord of the Rings? Maybe a dumb question. I haven't done that one. The Empire versus Sauron. Well, the Empire.
Sauron's army wins by default because the stormtroopers can't hit anything.
Yeah, but they could just blow up the planet. They could just blow up Arda with the Death Star. You know.
Maybe they'll get lucky.
Yeah, as long as the son of the second in command doesn't come along in his little X-wing and blow it up first.
Look at this cover. That's a great picture of a hand. So that's number 3. I love that. That is just scary. That's cool. All right. So now
Some good covers.
I've been collecting these John Buscema Tarzan comics, Roy Thomas. I don't know why, but I missed number 6, so I had to get number 6 to fill it in. My only complaint is Tarzan gets hit in the head and loses his memory, and he just reverts back to like a wild man. Okay. That's one issue, but it's been going on for like 4 issues. It's going on too long. Stop with it and get back to normal. So I'm up to issue number 10, but for some reason I missed number 6, and I wouldn't have read up to 10 if I had remembered that I was missing 6. Let's see, Scout. I love Scout. Yeah, it's a good comic. I can't believe I didn't get it when it came out. Each Scout title is a blues song. Yeah, you told me that. Tim Truman's a good musician. If you look up Tim Truman on YouTube and look, you can see him playing with his band. They're pretty hard rocking band. But doesn't Sauron have mind control or corruption powers? Maybe he can control a stormtrooper into self. No, Sauron can't just come and take over your mind. Matter of fact, he's pretty bad at it. It took him like 30, 40 years to get Denethor, the king of Gondor, or the steward of Gondor, into becoming like a crazy person. But you know, Saruman. Saruman.
Isn't it sort of more like it's the influence in the area that makes him go evil?
he lies and promises you stuff. Even Morgoth. One of the things in Middle Earth is you can't. Everybody on Middle Earth, to a certain extent, has telepathy. Hobbits, orcs. Well, maybe not orcs, but every sentient race has telepathy because Fea, the spirits in Arda, could reach out and communicate with each other. But the thing is, if you refuse to let a mind in, there's not even Morgoth can't come in. So Morgoth, if you close your mind, Morgoth being Sauron's boss, Morgoth was the most powerful being in all of Arda, meaning the world, except for Iluvatar, the one god. So think of God and then Lucifer and then all the angels, everything like that. Morgoth, what's his name, Tehurin, demanded to know the location of Gondolin, and Hurin wouldn't give it to him. So Morgoth couldn't override his will. He couldn't corrupt him. He couldn't. And what did he do? He chained him to a mountain for 28 years, and just the will of Morgoth made him not die, and he couldn't move. So he just sat there for 28 years watching his children have the most horrible life. The children of Hurin. Oh my God, it is. If they ever make a movie about it, people are going to be like, "Let's go see a Tolkien movie." And they're going to come out. That was the worst. So the ring corrupts you into more than Sauron, but even the ring, like what's his name? Smeagol resisted Sauron. Sauron had to torture him, and he still, after physical torture, he said, "Shire Baggins." So Sauron can't mind control you. He can't just look at you and take over your mind. Look at all the people that resisted him: Denethor, Saruman, Bilbo, Frodo, Smeagol, But that's one of the things in Tolkien is nobody can take over your mind unless you will it. Sauron corrupts the weak, makes ignorance turn on. And yes. That's exactly a good way to explain it. What he did was once he tried to dominate Denethor, and Denethor gets a bad rap in the movies. He was actually he lasted a long time, literally battling wills against Sauron, and what crushed him was Sauron was just like, okay, this is my army, and he just let him see what was going to happen. And Denethor was just like, all right, we're going to get killed, we're going to get eaten. Let's just die and get it over with. Yep. So there you go. All right. So now we got Tarzan number 11. We got Tarzan number 12. Lord of the Jungle. 13. Men of Mbonga, your spears will avail you nothing when the lion god strikes. Anybody read the Tarzan novels? I read the first two. The first one was a real page turner. Man, was it good. Exactly what I expected. The second book was nothing like I expected. He might as well have been James Bond because he's working for the French Foreign Legion, like helping a woman recover her inheritance or her jewels or something like that in Northern Africa. It's so different. Like, it's so good. Here's 14. And here's 15. And as you can see, I buy comics in fives. It's just a natural limiting process, so I don't spend too much money. So I get like one, I got 1 to 5, then I got 6 to 10, then I got 11 to 15. So what happened was I got 6 to 10. I put it in my checklist, checkout cart, and then when I paid for it, what they do is they send you an invoice. But by the time I put it in my cart and the time I paid for it, which could be a month, they ran out of 5. So I thought I paid for it. And when I got the comics, I just read them thinking, because I order things in order to be read in order. So that's why I missed number 6. And I'll never forgive myself. So there we go. So now I got Tor. This is Joe Kubert. Everybody kept telling me I got to read Tor. So I just bought number 1. And I really liked it. So Tor is a caveman story. It's just supposedly Joe Kubert really likes dinosaurs, so it's just an excuse to draw dinosaurs. Issue 1 was really good.
Kind of reminds me of sorry.
I'm so used to Tarzan being a brunette. I guess that's because of Disney. Oh, you know what? He's always been black-haired to me. And I never saw the Disney movie. I'm not even as a kid, I was never a fan of Disney. I only watched Disney movies like when I got no choice kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that is still making me it's reminding me of the second issue of Teen Titans. With
Of
the
what?
Million Teen Titans,
Okay.
the second issue. Basically, they are trying to help a 1 million-year-old teenager fight an evil giant with a magic axe
Hmm.
in a place called Smedleyville.
And what? The original Teen Titans?
Yes, the original run of it. With Donna Trey, Robin, Kid
Okay.
Flash, and
I have those,
Aqualad.
and I read, and that's a perfect example. Of I put in a bid on eBay, and I got all of the Teen Titans. And the way I do eBay is I put in a bid, and then I forget about it. I never increase my bid. So if I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. And I won, and I think I got every issue of the original Teen Titans, the Nick Cardy Teen Titans. And I think I paid like $50-$60 for it, and I got a long box mailed to me, and inside the note was, "Man, you screwed me over." The guy honored it, and then I read them all. I if I binge read comics, I don't seem to absorb them as much. I should go back to them. I have a hardcover of Joe Store from the 50s. Yeah, these are good. These are real good. Well, I read issue number 1. Issue number 1 was really good, but they're probably all good. So normally I stop at 5. But this was only 8 issues, so I think I got all 8 issues. Look at this giant
dinosaurs in these books.
Yeah. Oh, is this the last one? Maybe there was 6 issues. And I know I'm weak. I still love the Fantastic Four. I quit Fantastic Four, and I quit all of Marvel in 2015, but I just missed the Fantastic Four, so I'm slowly buying them in order and reading them. So this is the Dan Slott series. So this is 2018, number 4. So there we go. The Fantastics. So here we go. I read the first 3 issues of the Dan Slott series. Wasn't bad. Oh, this is 4. Oh, no, 6 is next. Did I miss an issue? Oh, no. So this is 4. This is 6. That's going to drive me crazy. So I could read 4, but oh, nope. Yep, I'm missing number 5. This is good. So here we go. This is a pretty good cover. Galactus. Who is this? Also, I don't look at the covers when I know I'm getting something. I just get it. So the Judgment of Doom. So I'm missing issue number 5. So I got to get number 5, unless it's out of order, because I'm not done. Let's get more back issue stuff. All right. So when I went to Fourth World Comics, Hobo, you gonna say anything? I just realized I didn't give you a chance to talk.
No, not right now. I mean, maybe later on I will.
Okay. I mean, the cover reminds me of the training the Spartans did to toddlers. I don't know if it's true, but they don't do it to toddlers. In Sparta, in ancient Sparta, you lived with your parents until you were, or you lived with your parents until you were 7. And
then you sort of went out into the hills to fight the other boys.
No, then you went and you lived in barracks, and you became basically a soldier. You started, so at 7 years old, you went and lived in the barracks, and I think when you were 14 to graduate and to go into the army, you literally had to go and survive out in the middle of nowhere. And whatever you did to survive is what you did. So a lot of them would go out and kill, what do they call it? The Heliots. That was their slave race. They had the Spartans weren't farmers. They enslaved the neighboring tribe and forced them. So they would go out and kill a slave, do whatever they could to survive. And then they would come back, and then they were full Spartan. And then they lived in the barracks until I think they were 30, and then they went home. And that's when they got married and had kids and things like that. But every Spartan couldn't go to war until they had a son. They got, I forget what war it was, but they all went off and they got decimated. They got ruined. So they passed a rule that says you can't go to war unless you have a male son to carry the name, because they were running out of Spartans, so.
I think I know which war you're talking about. I think because they did a purchase trying to remember now. It's they approached the city, and it's sort of like the sky sort of blotted out for a second, and they were impaled with arrows, basically. And all they had was like these little dinky little shields to defend themselves with.
Oh, they had a hoplon. It was 3 feet wide, their shields, and it was supposed to be big enough so that it protected themselves and it protected the people over there, people over there. And the reason why the Spartans were so good, they had the spear, and they would literally poke you with the spear, and you put up your shield. Every other army on Earth, subconsciously, the people would try to scooch under the shield of the guy over here. So there was always, whenever they marched, they would always go with the to the right. With the Spartans were trained to always go forward, and the Spartans would use that natural psychological advantage of people wanting to get covered by their friend's spear shield to their advantage, and that would cause them to break their ranks. And once you broke the ranks, that phalanx formation was doomed. And that's what Alexander the Great did. He copied the companions from the secret band led by Epimenides, and Epimenides developed a strategy called the Epimenides hammer, and he would have a phalanx, but then one section would have extra thick ranks, and they would just push through and then get behind you. And once you're behind the phalanx, they were beaten. And Alexander copied that. Wait, what's with the crowns? What crowns? This? The Shadow of the Golden Crane? Is that what we're talking about? Or are we talking about this? But anyway, I went to a free comic book day over at Fourth World Comics, and I met Billy Tucci, and then we went to a bar and had some burgers and beers. And I picked this up because it says From the World of Hellboy. So can you see that? The World of Hellboy. Oh, what's with the crowns? Besides my name and chat, I don't see it. I'm on StreamYard. You're seeing it on YouTube, so I don't know. Oh, JP Fawn says, John, do you like Dreadstar by Peter David and Jim Starlin? I recently ordered the omnibus. Yeah, I have them all. I did like. I got anything by. I'm a Jim Starlin fanboy, so I really like Jim Starlin. It's one of my favorite. Correct. So I picked this up because I didn't.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't order it when I ordered my comics, so I picked this up, and we'll see how good it is. I also like Michael Avon Oeming. I like his cartoony art style. So this is Vatican City by Mark Miller and Per Berg, Narwhal. I ordered this. It didn't come yet. So I was like, let me pick up a copy. So they were pretty much sold out. So they got this like black and white edition. So I bought this as I guess this is my reading copy. So the copy that I get from my monthly box of comics, I'll just put it away. And I still didn't read it yet because I have to do this video first. I'm crazy like that. So here's number 2 of the Patchwork Girl of Oz. Money Shot by Tim Seeley. I think this is a cheeky, nudie comic. I'm a big Tim Seeley fanboy. I really like Local Man. I loved Hack and Slash. I love Revival, and I think this is like a nudie superhero book. This is Heat Seeker.
What
this
is she wearing?
What's that?
What is she wearing?
I don't know. I didn't read it yet. This is number 3, so I got to get issue 1 and 2.
Don't question it, just enjoy it.
But this is Hard Case Crime. So this is Titan Comics, and they have like a little imprint where it's all like crime comics. And so far, they've all been so good. So I've just been picking them all up. Just crime. And crime is just notorious, like sexy chicks, stuff like that. So I don't know if this is good or not. Didn't read it yet. And I can't read it because I got to get issue 1 and 2. I thought this was a continuation of what's the name of that series now? The girl with the gun. I thought it was in that series, so I probably picked it up. This is Free Comic Book Day, Fantastic Four. North, Ramos, and Delgado. This looks great. This looks like great classic Fantastic Four. So I hope it's good. Free Comic Book Day, Conan, Scourge of the Serpent. You know what's sad is they had like a big array of all the free comics, and I had a hard time picking 5. Gargoyles. I'm a big fan of that 90s cartoon, and I've been collecting the comics. The comics got pretty woke, and then they managed to pull themselves out of the dive bomb. So that's good. This is Battle Gods #2. I got this under the recommendation of Oscar Carano. Oscar's the colorist. He's my go-to colorist on Long Box Comics, and we were talking about mythologies and comics based on mythologies. We were just talking to each other about comics, and he's brought this up. So this is like I forget if it's Mayan or Inca, forgive me, or Aztec, I forget. But it's basically like a battle brawl between like avatars of these Central American gods. So the first issue was good. So now I got 2, 3, 4. So it's Warriors of the Chalk. Chalk is the Mayan god of thunder. So it's I really love stories based on mythology. So 5. I don't know if this is the full run. I think it went to 8. But you can't go wrong with Oscar's coloring. This is Dan Panosian, The Lost Boy #2. I really, again, based on Peter Pan, a book that I'm just like I said, I'm very protective. Peter Pan and The Wizard of Oz are two books. The movies, whatever, that's a different thing. But the movies and books of Peter Pan, Wizard of Oz, I'm just very protective of. Did you see Miller and JRJR have a Kickstarter? Yes, and Mark Miller said that he's going to come back on my channel and we're going to talk about it. So we haven't set a date yet. He said he'd get back to me next week and we'll set a date. I love crime books. Do you have a favorite story or run? Anything by Ed Brubaker. The Ed Brubaker crime series. One of them was Sleeper, which was based in the main character was Burnout from Generation 13, Gen 13's father. He was like the Nick Fury character. Why can't I remember his name? But he was the main guy. He was the Nick Fury of IO, the Internal Operations or Investigate, whatever the IO stood for. But he's now in a coma, and he has a sleeper agent work for supervillains, and he can't come out of cover because that guy, Lynch, that's his name. Lynch is the only one who knows he's undercover. Everybody else thinks he's a villain, so he can't get rid of his identity. It was a good. And then he did Fatale. I really liked Fatale. Criminal is a really good one. But any Ed Brubaker crime comic, they're so good. They pulled the plug on wokeness. It's a miracle. I know the tide is turning. The tide is turning.
The bills need paying.
I'm sorry?
The bills, they need
paying.
paying.
Yeah, you got to pay They didn't care about the bills for so long. I don't know. When Disney's propping up your company, when Warner Brothers propping up your company, I guess you don't need to pay the bills.
Money will dry up eventually.
I'm starting to think that USAID was probably paying for propaganda. And now that Trump's getting rid of all the USAID, the tides are turning. I remember your boy Zach used to be like, EST money, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. It's like, well, turned out that it was a thing there, Zach. So this is, we got a comment. Yeah, Brubaker is woke, but he writes good crime. I absolutely agree. Eric Powell is super woke, but man, is the goon good. And I don't care what your personal politics are. The only writer that their behavior that really makes it that I can't enjoy their comics is Mark Waid. But the more the more your boy Zach is acting like a jerk, the less Mark Waid is bothering me. Like I have a Gail Simone comic, Welcome to Megalopolis or Leaving Megalopolis or something like that. That's been sitting in this stack for years that I just can't read because it's Gail Simone. Now I'm like, after I see how the people that she dealt with, your boy Zach and EVS truly are, I'm like, I think I'm going to go read that Gail Simone book.
Yeah, I mean, at least Mark Waid written really good stuff back in the day.
Mark Waid is a good writer. He is a good writer. His behavior is terrible, but he is a good writer. Kurt Busiek yelled at me and blocked me on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I still think he's a great writer. Mark Waid was on Neurotic today talking about how Brubaker's Death of Captain America was an actual end of the Civil War event. Yeah, Mark Millar, yeah. I saw.
I was confused. You said Mark Waid.
So this is a first print of G.I. Joe #2. I never read G.I. Joe. So just a couple of months ago, I read #1. I was surprised how much I liked it. I was a little too old for this. By the time G.I. Joe #1 came out, what year is this? Oh, it doesn't have the year on the cover. But when it came out, I didn't play with the toys, so I didn't have any sentimental attachment to the comic. Like He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, those were, I was too old for that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never read, and everybody was like, "You never read Teenage?" Like Tonic Mole got mad at me. You never read so I bought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was really good, and I read #1 of G.I. Joe, and it was really good. I did a video on it. What I liked about it was the loyalty of the group, and there was a lecture on why they do things the hard way and save lives. He's like, you want to do things the easy way? Well, you join G.I. Joe. We don't do things the easy way. You want to do things the easy way? Join another organization. We're going to save as many lives as possible. I really like that. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, Saga 67. I missed this issue, so I think I got like 10 issues in my box that I can't read. I think it's up to 77 now. So now I can finally read Saga. This was on the chopping block. As much as I like Brian K. Vaughan, we used to exchange emails years ago. He's a pretty cool guy. He's kind of woke. I have a letter published, I think in issue 54, and man, does everybody attack me. I'll let you find the letter, find out what it's about. But I was the only one who thought one way. Go figure. And I was really gonna start. Then they went on hiatus, and I think it was like they didn't make a comic for 9, and they came back, and they really recharged the batteries. But we'll see. This is such a weird comic. I almost feel like they just make it up as they go along. It's very self-indulgent. If you don't like it, that's cool. Okay, this is Miracle Man: The Silver Age. I didn't even know these came out. I was a big Alan Moore Miracle Man fan. I love these comics. Some of my favorite comics. Probably my second favorite Alan Moore story was Miracle Man. And then Neil Gaiman took over, and then it just never came out. I think Eclipse Comics just went under. So issue 24 was the biggest cliffhanger for 25 years. And I think this finally finishes that. So I didn't get issue 1 and I didn't get issue 2 because I have the original stories in the original Eclipse Comics. So they reprinted all of the Eclipse comics under Marvel, and now they're continuing. So I think this is the first new comic. So I think this continues, or at least I hope it continues, that cliffhanger that I've been literally waiting 25 years for. I'm sorry, there's so many comments. What's your favorite G.I. Joe comic? Well, the only one I read was issue #1, so far that's my favorite. I got my drive-by blessing by Zactan. How you doing? It came out around 82. Okay, yeah, 82. That's a good issue of G.I. Joe. Cool. I like Vaughn, but I don't like Saga. Again, I'm not gonna fight anybody if you don't like it. It's a very self-indulgent. I'm surprised I like it. There's like, at the risk of getting political, in one of the issues, they stop on Abortion Town, and everybody's like so happy. It's this place that they could go and get abortions, and it's like, that's not something we celebrate,
That is weird.
Yeah, I love the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics when they became dead to me. I could see that. I could see that. Sometimes I remember me and my friend Jimmy. We used to be into like obscure bands, and believe it or not, at one point the Red Hot Chili Peppers were a band that we used to get teased. I remember the guy at 7-Eleven when we were teenagers used to call us the Chili Peppers. He goes, because you guys are the only fans of this band. This band sucks. A bunch of fags, blah, blah, blah. Then they went mainstream, and now I cannot listen to the Chili Peppers. I just can't, So I totally understand where you're coming from, JP. Loyalty, hard work, that doesn't sound very self-empowering. Saga is not great. Again, I'm not going to fight anybody over Saga. It grates on me. It grates on me, and I collect it. G.I. Joe is like the ultimate culmination of gadgets and of the spy thriller, code names, and unique characters of a superhero story explosion. Yeah, sounds good. Saga is overrated. People who praise it, I question their intelligence. Again, you know how I feel. a place where they could get, how bizarre, not like literally almost anywhere. I know they have to go to a secret planet. So this is Miracle Man by Neil Gaiman, everybody's favorite guy. Turned out to be a creep. Go figure. Not only is he a creep, but he's a sellout creep. You know what I mean? Like the guy could have called the shots, but he like race swapped everybody in Sandman and then called everybody racist for calling out his BS on race swapping and everything like that. And then it turns out he's a sex creep. I'm not even gonna get into the details of
Money talk.
I know. And all his money basically goes. Did you know that he's like the #1 Scientologist in England? That his father
He's
like
a Scientologist.
Yeah, his father runs like the Church of Scientology, and then his wife or ex-wife is a total con woman. You know, I think what a coincidence that he's going through a high-profile divorce, and now all these women are coming out. So I'm a little suspect at the timing of this. Like what was it, Dresden Dolls? She's divorcing him, and at the same time, all these accusations are coming out. Like, and this woman totally used people. So, you know, I'm a big innocent until proven guilty kind of person. But Neil Gaiman is a jerk. But all the sex stuff, I don't know if that's true yet. You know.
He's a talented jerk, I'll say that.
Yep, he is a talented jerk. Yes, I still like Sandman. You got something to say, Creative Welshman? Your mic is off. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. With the sex stuff, he's admitted to it, but he says it was consensual.
Right. Same with Warren Ellis.
So
yeah.
now, so basically, we just need to wait on the court case to determine whether it was or wasn't, because we can't take his word for it, unfortunately.
Right.
We need due process.
Yeah, I believe in due process. I also think that, you know, when people wait 20 years for to report like a sex crime or something like that, and then the timing is right when he's getting divorced from this con woman, like it's very suspect to me. So, you know, I'm not gonna bring it up. Eric the Guapo, what are these numbers by people's names? There's numbers by people's names?
What?
Yeah, there's some crowns appearing next to him on the YouTube chats.
Oh, that's
weird.
Yeah,
I've seen those before. Yeah.
See, I'm watching on StreamYard, so I'm and if I bring it up on YouTube, I'm gonna have an echo. So I don't know. This is the first time hearing it.
It's
and
been
why
on
do I
a
not
lot
have
of people's channels.
What's that?
It's been on a lot of people's channels lately. So I think this might be just a YouTube thing.
It's a YouTube thing that I have no idea about. Sorry, guys. Is it distracting? Is it bad? Outrageous. At least be a creep that the other creeps can respect. Same thing happened with Metallica for me when they went mainstream. They also became. I know this is going to cost me whatever, subscribers, fans, whatever you want to call yourselves. I like to think of them as friends, but I never liked Metallica. I just never liked Metallica. You know, I know they're competent musicians. I know they're influential musicians. I know they're, you know, important musicians, but I just don't like them. And it's not like I don't know enough about them to be I just don't like the music. I never liked it. It's too
not
clean.
Gonna be on your channel?
I'm sorry?
So they're not going to be on your channel?
If they want to come and talk comic books, that's fine. But the music is just like too clean. Like I like sloppy heavy metal and crunchy punk rock and stuff like that. You know, like Joe Satriani, one of the best guitarists, super talented. But to me, it's like listening to a typewriter. A lot like progressive rock. I just don't like. Here's another band that's people are gonna get mad. Like Rush, it's just too clean, and you know, it's like okay. Doesn't do anything. I'd rather listen to people like GBH who could barely play their instruments.
It makes them sound more human.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even read the comic. Is that why I used to have the highest funded Patreon of all time for her art? Yeah. She would go and tour with the Dresden Dolls and then put ads in the local papers, perform with the Dresden Dolls, and she would raise money. She would get like whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars, show up in your hometown, and then get the locals to play, and then be like, oh, exposure was your payment. And then keep all the money and people like, but I drove here. I use my gas. I can't get home. You know what I mean? That's what a conniving con woman she was. I was never a fan of her. The Grand Wizard or the Cyclops of Scientology. I don't know what the terms are. Scientology is sick, but I was always proud of myself for reading L. Ron Hubbard's Decalogy Mission Earth. Is it good? Is he a good sci-fi? I never read anything, but if you've been a fan of my channel for a while, every once in a while I'll talk about the stories that I used to go to Scientology centers just to see what was up. I kind of was obsessed with cults for a while, and one of the things I would do is I used to go to Washington Square Park in Manhattan and try to get recruited by cults. I guess I look like I got my head on straight because they would. But my friend Phil, anywhere he went, he just looked like a lost soul. The cultists, the Moonies, the whatever, they would just pick him up. But I went to Scientology centers and got the e-meter readings and did all that stuff, and then argued with them. Then argued with them. The Crowns of our Super Chat leaderboard. I gotta watch this. Is it only? I'll watch the replay later. I don't know what this is. I hope it's not distracting. I don't want people to get upset with me. I have no control over it. It's
not
fine.
really that distracting, frankly.
I don't mind. Number one place means you super chat the most. Oh, okay. So I guess if you didn't super chat, you didn't get enough. Okay. So it makes sense. It's YouTube using like psychological warfare to get, because remember, YouTube gets like a third of the super chats. So if you super chat $5, what do they get? Like a $1.33 or something like that. So they're trying to psychologically manipulating you into super chatting me. I don't remember super chatting here. I stopped listening to Metallica when they went after Napster, but their original albums are legendary. Yeah, I for a band that I don't like, I think I have like 5 or 6 of their records. Maybe chat in general, I don't know. Click on the crown to see the leaderboard. What about Marvin Gaye? I love Marvin Gaye. I love Motown. I have a pretty extensive Motown vinyl collection. I've always loved Motown. What about Nickelback? They're not in the league of the best, but I always thought they were a bit overhated. I don't know. Well, I can't even name a Nickelback song. I think I was too old for Nickelback. Like, what is their number one hit?
The only one I know of is Rockstar.
I don't even know how it goes. Like, I couldn't even name a Swift song. I couldn't even name a Kanye West song. I am so out of touch. Beyonce, all the Single Ladies is the only Beyonce song I could think of. There's a Mongolian tribute band called The Who, which you may like. Yeah, my wife loves The Who. Yeah, they do that. Yeah. Have I read Black Sad? No, but your comic, Battle Gods was in here, Oscar. If you were watching earlier, I showed Battle Gods. Now Nickelback is hated suitably. See, I don't know. I've never super chatted either. It might just be for most chats. Okay. I love Motown too, John. Now we are best friends. I love Motown. Oh my God, they're such great musicians. Really, it at the risk of being called an ist. What happened to black music, man? What happened? Like Motown was. These guys were playing orchestras and writing the most intelligent music, and now it's just like Drake. Oh my God. As a fan of bass funk Motown, yep, absolutely. JP Fawn, you're absolutely right. Go listen to the bass line. They're not strictly Motown, but one of my favorite songs is "Ooh, Child, Things Are Gonna Get Easier" by the five stair steps. Listen to the drumming in that song. Or if you're a fan of drums, listen to that drumming. Nickelback has that one song. The rest of the catalog, I don't even know. Now we're talking music. Oh, guys, I gotta stop this soon because I'm gonna have RJ on for a comic book team up. All Taylor Swift songs are either her singing about 22 or trashing her ex. I know. All I gotta say is she's got 56 songs about ex-boyfriends, not one song about blowjobs. So that's why she has so many exes. I listen to Gorillaz a lot. That's another band. I'm too old for Gorillaz. My mom loves it. It's a great song. Pay attention to the drumming in that song. It is phenomenal. I don't mind the old Taylor Swift, but apparently she's dead according to one song. Really? Is that the new conspiracy? Like Paul McCartney died? Black music changed in the 90s with gangster rap. It's when R&B started to decline and the degenerate rap. Yeah, I hate gangster rap. I hate rap. Am I finally allowed to admit that I hate rap? Rap was
They forgot to add one letter to that, the letter
what?
C at the beginning.
Oh crap! Oh, are we allowed to admit that rap was an interesting niche that should have died, like skiffle, like like ska comes back every once in a while and then disappears. As much as I like ska, every band's got like one good ska record and then they change. But like rap should have just that was an interesting little phenomenon that died back in the 80s, like Run DMC and LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys. But it's
Well, to me, rap is it's just when people are talking over themselves to the point that you can't even listen to what they're actually saying.
I don't have rap fatigue. I've hated rap since day one. I gave it a chance. When I remember when Sugar Hill Gang came out, I was like, this is crap, but it's not for me. This too shall pass. And it just sucks. And now it has devolved into Drake, which is the worst music I've ever heard in my life. I have a lot of genres, but today's music is trash. Yeah, I don't even. I just want to skim through these now so I could get RJ on, and we'll do my next stream. So this is Red Coat. I read 1 to 7, and this is number 8. So, I can't continue because I have to read my comics in order. Black Hammer, Spiral City. I freaking love this comic. This is so good. Jeff Lemire, I think he only had like a 6-issue series when he started, and I don't know if he realized what a good hit he had, and he just so good. I think Jeff Lemire is a screaming Wokey too. Okay, here's Babs number 2. I mean, look at this. We got the black lesbian over here, so this is gonna be woke. Garth Ennis could do that every once in a while. This is 3. This is 4. Oh, I just realized I'm not showing it. This is okay. The reason why I skipped the 6 is I have 5 already. So I have 5 already. And it's funny because as much as I've been getting into crime comics, I'm also into fantasy comics. So here we got Flip City. I showed these already. I just picked them up because I grabbed all my comics. So that's all the comics I wanted to show. I'm going to address the chat and then I'm going to duck out because we have RJ at 8:30. So L. Ron Hubbard's Mission Earth series was very good. So I'm actually going to turn off this and then I'll do that. How's that? Okay, because now we're just talking. L. Ron Hubbard's Mission Earth series was very good. It's fantastic sci-fi told from the Mission Earth. I don't think I read Mission. Well, I didn't read anything, but I don't think I heard of L. Ron Hubbard. I'm fascinated by L. Ron Hubbard. I just read a book about Parsons. Why can't I think of his first names? Not Alan Parsons, the musician, but Jack Parsons. I just read a book about Jack Parsons, and oh my God, L. Ron Hubbard is basically the bad guy in that book. So good, so good. To the point where, yes, Jack Parsons, I'm hoping if Heroic Tales lasts long enough, Jack Parsons will be in Heroic Tales. I mean, the founder of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory who does sex magic at night and as a 12-year-old summon the devil. How can that guy not be in a comic book? How is there not a movie about Jack Parsons? And then did a wizard battle with L. Ron Hubbard. So good. Such a good story. John, what do you think about Bill Withers? Bill Withers is awesome. Awesome. Arguably the greatest musician. I won't go that far, but I will say he's awesome. It's funny because there's an Alamac driver in on my job. Alamac is the outside temporary elevators that construction sites use to go up and down, and you got to have a driver in those. And this guy, I like going because he's always playing good Motown music, and we're always talking about music. But it's funny because he was playing the Grateful Dead on my first day at that job. I was like, "Oh, you like the Grateful Dead?" And I was just making conversation. I'm like, "Do you like Frank Zappa?" Just making conversation. And he's like, "No, that's weird." And he just like got like all like bent out of shape. I mentioned Frank. I was just making conversation, and then for like 2 weeks, he was like, "Hey, Zappa." That was my nickname. Hey, Zappa. I'm like, what are you now? We get along. Now, but we bonded over Motown. I love Motown. as much as I think I know about Motown, oh my God, does this guy? He goes and sees like surviving members of Motown bands that play locally in Manhattan and New Jersey. He'll like, oh, this guy was the bass player for this band and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God, he really knows stuff, and he's a musician too, so he appreciates it on a level. I can't play any instrument to save my life. I took piano for 5 years, and all I was doing was throwing money into a fireplace. A lesbian. That's a good word for it. Hey, Flip City. This channel is now called John's Boombox. As long as that, does. But you know what's funny? Because for years, I wouldn't admit that I hate rap because I thought I was going to get called names. But can I finally admit I hate rap? I hate rap music. Sorry. If you like it, that's fine. And I have a buddy, Tony Grigo. He's been on my channel. We talk. This guy's a rapper. And he has a song called Sunday Gravy. You could get on Spotify. And the funny thing is, I hear it. And I told him to his face, I'm like, I hate rap. So I hate this song. But he's my buddy. So I was every time he's on, I promote it. So guys, do me a favor. If you like rap, get Tony Dimes, Sunday Gravy, and tell me if it's good or not. Because I don't know, because it sucks, because it's rap. So, and he's my buddy. He's an electrician. We work together, Hey, Courtney's here. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time, Courtney. Oh my. Okay, I got to go in 1 minute. What is my favorite Motown group? I love the Supremes. I have every Supreme. I am the straightest Supremes. I am the world's only straight white Supremes fan. I got everything by the Supremes. I freaking love the Supremes. I love Marvin Gaye. I bought a vinyl collection of Motown, and I have like a bunch of Motown CDs, but I can't listen. My CD player broke. I gotta buy a new CD player. The Temptations are awesome. The Temptations are totally old school rap. I can tolerate, like Run DMC, Schoolie D, that kind of stuff. But like, basically, once you leave the '80s, rap should have stopped in the '80s. Once it turned gangster rap was the worst thing that ever happened. I think the last rap, because I do have a bunch of rap albums. I did see why can't I think it? The band that does 3 is the magic number. I went to go see them. They were boring. I saw the Beastie Boys. I saw Boogie Down Productions. I went to a lot of rap shows, and but rap should have ended. Then the last I saw Ice-T when he was doing the first. What was it? What was it when he did the hardcore, metal band, Cop Killer and stuff like that? That was the last rap thing I've ever seen.
That's all foreign language to me. I don't know any of those.
Good, you're not missing anything. Phoenix Rising is my favorite. Curtis Mayfield. I love Curtis Mayfield is awesome. The Supremes.
You're missing out a lot by not listening to the Gorillaz, though. Especially the second album, Demon Days. That is a brilliant album.
I used to love I liked Public Enemy. I think them and Ice-T were, I think, the last of me even try. Yeah. Oh yes. So Courtney, I probably slam danced into you. Yeah, I was there. Matter of fact, I'm in the Rollins band. His album covers from Lollapalooza, and you could see me in the corner. I have a Sub Pop hat, no beard. You could just see me.
Three Sisters.
What is that group with the 3 sisters? We're talking about that. You're forcing me to change between rap and they were hot. What band? Yeah, Ice-T was a favorite of mine. Okay, but I got to stop now because at 8:30 it's RJ from the Fourth Age. We're going to talk comics. Something tells me that RJ's probably not a big fan of rap, so we probably won't talk about rap. And to be honest, this is as much rap as I want to talk about. So, Creative Wealthman, you want to say anything before we leave?
Have a nice night, everyone. I've got a job interview in the morning, so I've got to get to bed immediately because it's 1:30.
What time is it there? What time is it where you are?
Nearly 1:30. And I've got to be up dressed and out for 9:30.
And Hobo, where are you? What time is it over there for you?
It's 5:27 right now. Okay. I live in the West.
Okay, you're fine. Well, I gotta go. Hobo, you want to say anything? You want to, before we leave?
Good night, everybody.
Okay. All right. Good night. Yeah, I was at the Lollapalooza in Mountain and Scranton that year. I was in I forget where it was. Was it Pennsylvania or New Jersey? But it was the one where Susie and the Banshees canceled. And man, I was pissed because never got to see Susie and the Banshees. So mad, so mad. But good night, everybody. Bye bye.